is Jerry Kramer, an Eisenberg MBA graduate from 2006. For the past 6 years, I've been working in the medical device field. Today, I'd like to share with you some insights about the challenges of bringing a new medical device to market. During the past year, I worked for a medical device company that was founded in the early 2000s by a physician who was actively working on COPD and emphysema causes and treatments. Emphysema and other types of COPD are one of the leading causes of death in the world. Unlike cancer, HIV, or cardiovascular disease, COPD and emphysema research is underfunded and under-researched. When evaluating the potential of new medical breakthroughs, one of the first questions is there an unmet clinical need? For emphysema, the answer was overwhelmingly yes. This is because there are currently only 3 treatment options: optimal medical care through medicine, inhalers, and pulmonary rehab, lung volume reduction surgery, which is a high-risk option, and a lung transplant, which is a limited option since transplants are often given to patients with other medical issues, such as cystic fibrosis. Realizing the unmet clinical need, the founder of the company worked on the development of a new treatment to collapse inflated lung tissue and provide therapeutic effects similar to lung volume reduction by delivering a fibrin-based glue to the diseased area of the lungs through a bronchoscope. Achieving lung volume reduction without the mortality risk associated with an open surgical procedure seemed like an innovative breakthrough. However, after a few initial positive studies, the product faced several challenges. The first challenge was the sourcing of fibrin, which is a human component. The second was FDA regulatory process. The FDA didn't understand the mechanism of action and wanted the product to be classified as a drug, a classification that would impose 10 or more years of clinical study. The third challenge was financial. The company had to reserve funds at the same time it dealt with the first 2 challenges. The company downsized and focused on developing a synthetic alternative to human fibrin, hoping the FDA would consider the new product a medical device rather than a drug, and set a more reasonable clinical pathway to approval. When the change from fibrin to the synthetic alternative occurred, initial animal studies showed the new product had the potential for better efficacy versus the prior product, but had a possibly worse safety profile. Although the change in safety profile should have been a red flag, the company's leadership chose to focus on the positive results and pushed forward to human testing. Initial human testing was small in scale. A single physician in Israel performed the procedure on a group of 20 patients at a single hospital. The outcomes were so encouraging that the company decided to begin commercializing in Europe and go straight to a pivotal study in the U.S. The FDA granted investigational device exemption approval in 2012, and the company commenced on a large trial. Unfortunately, the jump from small to large trial left a gap in the available data. The company could not show data from an interim study. This gap gave competitors an opportunity to raise concerns about safety and efficiency, and eventually it also raised credibility issues with potential investors. On the commercial side, the company assumed that demand would come simply because the product had regulatory approval, and even got temporary approval for medical reimbursement in Germany. The company did not invest in sales and marketing to drive demand. More importantly, there was no one in the field to educate physicians and patients about safety challenges. Without a sales and marketing team in the field to quell worries and combat competitors' bad-mouthing, the concerns about the product's safety grew, and demand slipped. Shrinking demand and growing trepidation about safety could not come at a worse time. The company needed additional funding to finish the large U.S. pivotal study, but was not able to attract new investors. Without funding, the company had to stop operations. What went wrong? Did the company fail because it didn't have a firm handle on the market? Or because there were safety questions about the product? Or because they hadn't invested in sales and marketing to prove the product viable in a commercial setting? The answer is probably yes to all of these. In retrospect, it is not surprising that the product failed and that the company was unsuccessful. However, a more realistic view of the product, the market, and financial needs could have led to different decisions and maybe to a different outcome. Thank you.